Welcome back to Viking football as Portland State gets prepared to go on the road this weekend at Southern Utah this Saturday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. You can see that game on ESPN+. And, Coach, things have changed. We had a warm weather Saturday football game just a couple of days ago. Now it feels like football season out here. It's a little cold, it's a little windy, it's a little rainy. Things have changed. It kind of gets you in the football spirit.
It does. A little fall chill in the air. I'm sure the duck hunters are getting ready for the weather coming in. But I did hear it's supposed to get nice again this weekend. Haven't checked Cedar City, but it's back and forth right now. But, yeah, we're getting a little bit of chill in the morning.
Well, it's cool nights in Cedar City, but it looks like about a 70-degree day. We'll see what the temperature is at kickoff. The Vikings are going to do a little bird hunting down there as they try to beat the Thunderbirds. Coach, before we talk about the Thunderbirds real quickly, let's take a look back at Montana State game. The Bobcats come from behind in the fourth quarter to get the victory there. For 44 minutes, the Vikings had a lead, played very, very well against Montana State. They got a couple key stops on Portland State in the fourth quarter when we were driving, kind of made the difference in the game.
It did. You know, Mike, I love, you say 44 minutes. I like the effort. I liked everything I saw on the field, the fight, the grit, but we have to finish it, you know. We got behind 2 scores there, and I think we kind of lost it. We lost that, you know, let's go. But we're addressing that. We have to execute in critical situations. When we do that, games like that will find those plays to go up by 2 scores or to, you know, win it in the end. So a lot of youth, but that's what we're focused on right now to get a win this week.
Well, nationally ranked Montana State came in with a great defense. It showed itself right there at the end. They got some key sacks there in the fourth quarter. That really made the difference in the game. But, Coach, what were some of the positives you take away from that game, even though a loss, but against a really talented team?
Again, you know, we were supposed to lose that game by 42, Mike, but my guys our team came in expecting to win it. We were in it. We were up at halftime. Everything was how I had planned. You saw some great contributions, defense, you know, early on. I mean, they forced our opponent, Montana State, to keep trying something else, so they ended up in the end there running power with that back and just getting after it. But I liked a lot of things I saw performance-wise on the field. A great catch in the end zone by Nate Bennett. And, you know, the protection early was outstanding. Gianosa, tight end, we asked him to kind of do a different role in the game, did a hell of a job. So, you know, we just have to take that through 4 quarters.
All right, the Vikings opening with a tough opponent, nationally ranked opponent. Now, as you look at the schedule, the next 4 weeks, opponents not nationally ranked, an opportunity, you respect all your opponents, but an opportunity for the Vikings. You got to make things happen, and it starts this week with Southern Utah, a team that has opened the season very similarly to Portland State. They come in at 1-3. They've played teams very similar to the teams that we've played. Coach, what's going to be most important as you prepare for the Thunderbirds this week? Execution,
Mike, like we talked about, and going there. We've talked adversity, you know, when things aren't going right, how you're going to change them. But we're going up against a well-coached team. DeMario runs a hell of a program there. I know some of his coaches, always has great players. And the Big Sky, it's so even across the board. You know, Montana State, we had an opportunity to win that. They're ranked. But it doesn't matter if you're playing a ranked or an unranked in this conference. On Saturday, you better come ready to play.
And Southern Utah going into the football game, they do a good job protecting their quarterback, the strong offensive line, an efficient quarterback, kind of a short passing game. Defensively, they've given up a lot of yards through the pass. However, they did have to play against Eric Barriere last week of Eastern Washington, and everybody gives up yards to that guy. So perhaps Portland State is hoping to have a big passing day behind Davis Alexander and those great tight ends again as we go to Cedar City.
Yes, Mike, but you know us, you know me. We want to be 50-50. Right now, there's some things in the run game we're working on to try to get, a more productive first down on that. At times, it was right where we needed it, and at times, last week, it put us behind the chains. So looking at that, and you touched on Southern Utah. They have, I like their entire team, but they do have two great players, a linebacker and an offensive lineman who are very special FCS football players.
And the other element, we talk about it all the time, Coach, turnovers. I know you're not real happy with your turnover situation so far this season. The Vikings have yet to win the turnover battle. They've tied it, and they've lost it in all 4 games. I know that's going to be key because Southern Utah is a team that has taken care of the ball so far this season.
It is, and Mike, that's something, a bug we usually don't have here. And I think it comes from, there's a different reason each time, but on the one, I think the Montana State guy made a hell of a play. On some of the others, I think our quarterback and our players want to win so damn bad. They're doing everything in their power, and sometimes that turns into a mistake. So I like how we're playing. We're addressing it more on video kill the radio star than on the field because I like how they're playing right now. When you're throwing the football this much, turnovers are going to happen. That's just something you accept. But we do need to win that, especially on the road, especially in Cedar City versus Southern Utah.
And again, as the Vikings go on the road, an outside element you have to deal with, Coach. It's not easy to get there. Portland State will fly to Las Vegas. It's about a 170-mile bus ride from Las Vegas up to Cedar City, and you play at elevation. So those are all elements that you kind of have to manage with your team. I know your coaching staff has to manage it with all the players. How do you get your team to kind of focus in and put those smaller adversities aside?
You mentioned it, Mike. That's a piece of the adversity we talk about as we go there. We do have a little tiny bit of Americana before we leave Vegas. Stay tuned on your one of my young guys will tweet it out for everybody to see. But it's a different trip. Southern Utah, Cedar City's not easy to get to unless you charter in. So on the other hand, it's all in the presentation. We're going to make it a fun trip for the players as much as we can. Then get down to business on Saturday.
So if it's all in the presentation, I can expect perhaps to have a first-class seat on the plane and some really nice food on the trip as I go along with you guys? Is that what you're saying?
Like I said, Mike, it's all in the presentation. I'm going to put you in a seat on the airplane that you're so pleased with, and the snacks and the drinks that they're going to have for you, the umbrellas floating across your ice. It's not always being in first class. Sometimes it's being treated first class.
I like to hear that. That's good news. All right. As we wrap it up here, Coach, we always go to the obvious question, some key elements that you need to see your team perform to win this Saturday.
2 things we have to, last week, red zone, third downs, offensively. Defensively, get more turnovers. I think they're doing a nice job right now. And 4 quarters we talked. I don't care what the score is. With 9 minutes left in a football game, anything can happen, and 2 scores for this offense I don't think is an issue. Referring back to last week. But battle the adversity, because every time you go on the road, there's some. Win the turnover battle on the road, and let's go. I mean, those are the items. If we address, there's a good chance we come out on top in Cedar City.
All right, can't wait to get on that Americana tour this weekend as the Vikings travel to Southern Utah. Again, football game this Saturday, 6 p.m. Mountain. It's 5 p.m. Pacific time, and you can watch it on ESPN+. For all the information on Vikings football, go to GoVikes.com.